Hello, hello, I'm Mehet, and today I want to take a look at some of the in-game models that could inspire future races' player housing exteriors and where they might prefer to settle in each of the neighborhoods. Taking a look first at the Darkspear trolls, you'll see that their architectural models are some of the oldest in the game. And so while it's possible that we'll see up-resed versions of these specific structures created for player housing, it wouldn't surprise me if some of the more rugged Zandalari architecture is reimagined with a Darkspear in mind. Something like this would look awfully nice in the beaches of Razorwind Shores. As I was flying around for this video, I realized that the Tauren might have the most diverse range of architectural models. Unfortunately, like the Darkspear, they're all pretty old, and it wouldn't surprise me if rather than modernizing these old ones specifically, we see some sort of combo with the High Mountain Tauren. Perhaps in the end, it will be the colors and motifs that separate the two. My personal favorite, the Forsaken, has some pretty obvious model choices out in the world, specifically from the Kata revamp. With no truly gloomy biome in Razorwind Shores, these are going to look a little out of place anywhere, but the Ashara section will do for now. When it comes to goblin architecture, we have a lot of options. You think back to Tenaris, Winterspring, or Gadgetzan, though it seems unlikely that any new goblin house wouldn't be inspired by Undermine. These colorful patchwork metal structures look right at home in the jungle biome. Because Suramar has predominantly urban dwellings that are connected like row houses, there aren't very many standalone house-like structures that I could find that really said player housing, with the exception of Thalyssura's house. This is a standalone version of the townhouses or row houses we see in Suramar proper, and I think could make a pretty nice player house. The Maghar homes in Outlands Nagrand are pretty unique and fit in perfectly in Razorwind Shores. Like the Nightborn, most Zandalari dwellings are urban and closely knit together, and there aren't many standalone buildings that are still intact. Many of the ones we see in Nazmir or Voldun are ruins. But there is a sort of emissary building at the bottom of the pyramid that looks like it would do quite nicely. The Vulpera are at the opposite end of the spectrum from the Nightborn and the Zandalari, having no formal dwellings at all. I suspect we would see their caravans turned into cute little permanent structures. First up on the Alliance side are the Gnomes. These guys currently have pretty distinct houses outside Nobergen that would lend themselves well to player housing. I imagine these sitting in the nice autumnal section that complements the vibrant orange and blue, but it's possible that they'd prefer a gloomier neighborhood alongside their mecha gnome brothers and sisters who are used to living underground. The dwarves, of course, also live predominantly underground, but they do have some obvious choices for above-ground dwellings, like this one. To get a good look at Draenei houses, we've gone back to Shadowmoon Valley in Warlords of Draenor. Thinking back to the vibrant colors of Azure Mist Isle, these structures seem right at home in the autumnal zone of Founders Point as well. There isn't much to suggest that the Lightforged Draenei would have their own distinct architectural style, so I suspect that like the Tauren and High Mountain Tauren, these may share strong architectural similarities and simply leverage different color palettes. Our spookiest Alliance race, the Gilneans, have a lot of beautiful houses to choose from as well, any of which would look great in the Duskwood section of Founders Point. I was a little stumped when I got to the Void Elves, as it appears they have no architecture to speak of at all. We'll have to see what happens in Midnight, but maybe they'll just get a voidy version of the Silvermoon houses. While the Dark Iron Dwarves have a few outdoor structures, this was probably the most difficult of the underground dwelling races to figure out. There's very little inside Blackrock Mountain that might indicate what a standalone house for a Dark Iron Dwarf might look like, so ultimately I turned to Northrend, more specifically the dwarves near Uldwar, that have a very similar aesthetic. Moving on to the Kultirans, who like the Zandalari and the Nightborn have dwellings predominantly in Borealis, have a great variety of standalone homes. I can't help but think they'd probably want the plots with the best fishing access. Moving along to our faction-neutral races, the Pandarans have a few architectural styles, but I'm not sure these stilted farmhouses are what we'll wind up with. If I were to bet, I'd say these stone structures found in the Jade Forest are more likely to be the bases for future Pandaran houses. While the Drakthir themselves may have been sleeping for the last several thousand years underground, we saw tons of dragon architecture during Dragonflight, and any one of these would be a great player house. Last up, the Earthen. Unlike their cousins in Ironforge and Blackrock, they've got a lot of outdoor structures. While most of those structures are pretty utilitarian or related to their farming endeavors, it's not hard to imagine what a standalone structure might look like. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you like, love, hate, or think I missed, and I'll be back again soon. I promise.